been a long time since I've done this. As you can see here, I have a guest. This is the Noster. Noster, introduce yourself. What is your podcast?
Hey, everybody. I am Noster from the Faithful Fan Talk podcast.
As you can see, he is a 49ers fan. I know he also covers the Lakers. You might be thinking, what the hell? How does he cover the Lakers and the Niners? He's got his own story. Maybe he'll tell you one day, but today is football. We're going to be
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about uh
Football on a Friday night, and there's actually no football going on. Living the life.
yes, we don't really get too many days to ourselves, right? We're
Yeah.
both fathers and husbands and stuff. So having a day to ourselves is really, really rare. So, we checked in earlier today and we said, you know what, let's talk about this specific topic because we both had diva receivers at one point. Well, you took one of our receivers. If he's not a diva, this guy's actually a good receiver, but we both had diva receivers at one point. You have one right now, currently, who's on a roster, but he's
He's on the
going
left
on a
squad.
rant.
He's on the
And we
left
were
squad.
saying,
Yeah.
who's worse? Is it Antonio Brown or is it Brandon Aiyuk? So let's start with the Ayuk. Why is he worse than Antonio Brown?
Well, let's if you want to actually get to the right why I feel Ayuk is in some ways worse than Antonio Brown. You got a guy who really took a contract negotiation personally. Hasn't really, I mean, he did break out for a year, being the rookie wide receiver that he was. They went to the Super Bowl. But honestly, I feel like he just took it as a of an insult that he wasn't given top dollar money right at the start of free agency as soon as that offseason began. Once the wide receiver market rose, the cap went up. You saw other wide receivers get top dollar money. He felt like, hey, I should be getting this much. He didn't. 49ers decided, let's hold off. And the offseason went on, the more idiotic Brandon Ayuk started to get by holding out on the team, going with his antics like, "Oh, I want to get traded." To we all saw the social media posts that he put out there, like comparisons with Mike Tomlin and going joining Pittsburgh. That was the rumor where he was destined to go because he was had buddies out there in Pittsburgh, also all Washington Commanders. Also, obviously, he's got his buddy Jaden Daniels, the quarterback. So those were the destinations that he might have been traded to, but um, due to his own selfish pride, um, he pretty much shot himself in the foot. I mean, you got his own trade value got damaged under the whole contract um, negotiation. I think the further he held out, it just made it, he made himself look even worse.
Yeah, his situation is dragged out for sure. Ours was more sudden, right? So those of you
Yeah,
guys who just came in, Anna Rubin says hi. Hi, Anna Rubin. And we got Jackson Tolman, who is my favorite football team is the 49ers. You got a Niners fan in here.
not
Nice.
surprising.
Surprisingly,
How's it
right?
going?
Yes. So Noster has his own show. If you want to have 49er content, he is the guy to go to. He is a professional, I would say. He's always on top of his stuff. So if you want to check out his show, he is strictly 49ers. The Cover 5 podcast covers. We try to cover at least 5 teams, but really it's been only 3 the last couple of months. And really it's been mainly bug stuff the last few weeks. But anywho, today's episode again, if you're just tuning in, is about Antonio Brown and Brandon Ayuk. He just talked about Brandon Ayuk, what he's been going through. And, we were in conversation earlier during the day about who's worse. And we're making the case that our receiver is worse, diva receiver, right? So your situation has been dragging on for a while now, right? Now
Yeah,
imagine this:
yeah,
2021
more than it
Tampa Bay
should.
Buccaneers. We are one of the best teams,
Hmm.
and we have 3 good receivers. There's a couple of injuries. Antonio Brown. the previous week had a hell of a game. He was a number one target. There was no issues. This was completely out of nowhere, right? It wasn't like there was drama before this. The guy had a good game prior to the Jets game. In the Jets game, I believe he was hurt or something happened where he
He just
wasn't
took off his shirt
playing
and started
as
running on the field.
much. What I do know though is that he was taken out for whatever
Yeah,
reason, and when he got taken out, he had an issue with it, and that's when he blew up.
yeah.
So it just nobody saw that coming, and no matter what they did, they tried to stop him from leaving the field. The guy left. He retired in the middle of a game. I mean, have you ever seen this in any other team?
Well,
I think I
remember,
think I think Vontae
remember,
Davis, I think that did that too. I think a cornerback for the Colts a couple of years too. I think
yeah.
he did during the halftime though. He just didn't come back out. He's like, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
But this guy, caused a scene in the middle of the game, really towards the end of the game. And we were losing the game, right? It wasn't like we were winning the game and it was a meaningless game. We were losing the game to the horrible Jets at the time. So that was not a good situation. Mike Evans was not, I think he was hurt or he wasn't playing as well. I think Chris Godwin had been lost for the season. So we went from having three top-notch receivers to one in the span of literally 2 games. One was an injury, one was this guy losing his marbles. Now, obviously, what's happening with Ayuk, I don't know what's gonna happen to him. I don't know if he's gonna ever play again for another team, but Brown doing that, he essentially killed his career. So my argument is that he retired during the middle of the game. There was just no way anybody would ever sign that guy after that. And his antics off the field and what he's been doing recently, is it's pretty at the same level as a Ayuk. But I'll let you make your rebuttal. What do you think?
Well, if we want to make a rebuttal, we can definitely go Ayuk in that you have his buddy Jaden Daniels, which he totally like criticized on social media, told him to pick up his phone. Then he started criticizing his mom on social media, and they unfollowed him on social media. So you go out there, you try to put on your commander's hat, trying to say, "Hey, go Commanders, go!" We're going to be the best team. You first of all, you're still under contract with the 49ers. So I wonder if you can even call that tampering. There's got to be some clause there in your contract. You can't be putting other teams' apparel while you're still under jurisdiction in your own team. But aside from that, the fact that his only option at this point for Ayuk was gonna go get your do whatever means necessary you can to get yourself released by the 49ers to go to the team you want, which is the Commanders, and to blast to blast their own quarterback and his mom on top of that, who I think his agent. Um, Not a very good look. It's almost like he shot his own career down the toilet. So I just don't see how other teams out there, and I believe there's a report out there by Adam Schefter from ESPN who said that who the hell would want this guy on their team after the type of antics that he's doing out on the off the field. You For number one, you want to play football again, you've got to file the paperwork for reinstatement, which he hasn't done. I don't know who's giving him advice, but if anybody's giving him advice, he's not taking the advice. Um, so he obviously has to know that you got to file for reinstatement with the league to the commissioner. Then once you do that, you gotta you gotta pay the fine that you still have at Santa Clara because you got a warrant out for your arrest for speeding out there by the Levi Stadium. So I don't know if he's out there yet in California, here in California, but obviously he's got to pay the fine. It's a misdemeanor. I mean, come on, he's still got his year guaranteed money. So just pay the damn fine. Then you can go ahead and show up in training camp when it starts, and 49ers will then be forced to then cut you or trade you. But honestly, who the hell wants to? I mean, who are you gonna get? Who are you gonna get for this guy? Nobody wants Brandon Ayuk, who hasn't even proven himself back from injury from his ACL tear that he had, and he hasn't shown us that he's interested in football. I mean, yeah, you go out there and you bounce a soccer ball during the World Cup, and you're going to say that you're fit. I don't think that that's going to impress anybody. So you're out there, throwing cash on the floor by your closet, and you're supposed to impress other teams and saying that's supposed to be a like a sort of a pitch for other teams to say, hey, we kind of like this guy. uh, I just don't see that. I think it's just career suicide. That I mean, I don't see the road opening up anytime soon for this guy.
Okay, that's a rebuttal, definitely, because he's still fairly young. How old is he?
You know what? That's a good question. I can look that up. I don't actually know his
I
age,
mean, he
right?
can't be 30.
but
He's got to
but
be in
well,
his
he's
mid 20s.
definitely immature for his age. We can definitely say
Okay, we
that.
can agree on that. Yes.
I mean, someone give him
Somebody
a
said he's 27, so that's definitely
okay.
immature.
Someone give him a diaper.
Yeah, 27 is 27.
Yeah,
So the
yeah,
guy is in his mid 20s at this point. He should know what he's doing, I would say.
yeah.
And I mean, you made a good point. You brought in receipts, right? This guy keeps putting 27. I don't know why. Anywho, we get it. He's 27, right?
I honestly think that he got sour grapes because he wasn't throwing the ball that one play in the Super Bowl. I mean, if you see the
Really?
play closely where the Kansas City Chiefs were playing the 49ers, Brock Purdy, he was under pressure. And it's not like he ignored him. He had to throw the ball out. You can't put this all on Brock Purdy. And it's not like they weren't targeting Brandon Ayuk. They were pressuring Brock Purdy. Purdy just had to let it go. I know Brandon Aiyuk was wide open. I know if he had the time, he probably would have seen him right down the middle, wide open in the end zone, and that would have. I'm pretty sure that would have scored a 49ers touchdown to possibly win the Super Bowl. But I mean, Kansas City at that time, their defense was just a different animal, and the fact that Fred Warner at that time, not Fred Warner, Drake Greenlaw went out of the game, that was pretty much doomed for the 49ers, in my opinion. And I'm pretty sure a lot of 49ers can agree with that. But I mean, Ayuk just took it wrong. You saw his reaction in the interview room, in the locker room after the game. He was emotionless, didn't have much words for the media, to be honest. And as the offseason grew, extended, it just he became increasingly distant, isolated from the team, and he wasn't really having interviews much. Um, he was having podcasts with his buddy, but he wasn't really having active negotiations with the 49ers until very late. And to be honest, to be put in a situation with the 40 to put the 49ers in a situation where you after you get what you wanted, which is the money that you feel you earned, and to come back not in tip top shape that year in 2024, uh essentially that he got injured, and that's an unfortunate lack of preparation on his part.
And that's a good point that you make. And somebody said here
Yeah,
that, he got hurt
yeah,
and he said that he might be on drugs. He's got schizophrenia. I think that what something to consider, I know that a lot of these guys get head injuries and that probably causes, some
D,
kind of mental illness. But I
yeah,
think with him, maybe he got hurt, right? And maybe he, was taking painkillers or whatever he was to try to
yeah.
recover. And maybe that messed with his head because it's just, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, I didn't know who he was prior to, honestly, to this whole fee. I had heard of his name, through like conversation and stuff, but he's gotten more famous now for his stupid antics than his actual.
Yeah.
actual play, which is horrible, right? Because AB at least had a career prior to that. AB was outstanding with the Steelers. Even with us, when he came in, he won us a Super Bowl because in that Super Bowl, he had a touchdown. He played well in 2020. He was a non-issue in 2020.
Mhm.
So with him, we knew he had his antics prior to that. He came with us. He looked like a completely different guy. He was on top of it. We won. And then again, next year in the middle of the game, it was out of nowhere. At least with
Yeah, he
you,
just
you kind of saw it coming, right? There was signs of it. With this guy, it's just like, wait, what? Like, what do you mean? You just had like 10 catches last week. What are you talking about? How are you gonna just retire in the middle of a game? So I think for
yeah,
me, where I
is
think it's worse for AB is because it was just so sudden. I guess it's like a instant kill, like you don't feel it coming, as opposed to like, but you kind of see it coming. I was just like, what? How do we go from being one of the best teams in the NFL now we have no receivers? That to me
yeah.
is what hurt me the most because we could have made another run. We could have had back to back Super Bowls if this guy gets it together and doesn't do that. I mean, the guy was playing well, and with Godwin being hurt, he was going to get more targets. He was going to play. The Ayuk situation, I think for me, now that I see this, I think he's right. I think that somebody probably gave him something to try to recuperate faster. And in the process, he probably lost his mind. What do you think?
Honestly, it's hard to tell where his state of mind is at this point. I think there are times when I feel he. Right now, we haven't heard much from Brandon Ayuk. Could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. And the reason I say that is because every time he stays quiet, it seems like maybe he's actually listening to what people have been telling him to do. We just shut up, shut up. If you want what you if you want what you to get to your destination, then do what people tell you the fuck to do. Sorry, my French, but the fact of the
There it
matter
is. There it
is,
is.
the, the fact that you have a post not too long ago where Ayuk actually wrote a formal uh, complaint against the NFL Players Association regarding, uh, you know, supposedly there's a conspiracy theory going out there that there are certain players that are against him. So he's trying to write to the league saying, "Hey, this isn't fair, blah blah blah." But at least he actually didn't post some idiotic social media post. He actually wrote a letter to the league. That told me like, oh, okay, finally we're getting somewhere, we're having progress. But then you got 2 days later, and then you get a social media antic that he's out and doing something stupid. Um, and especially the fact that now he's criticizing Jaden Daniels, and they're not communicating at this point. Now the Commanders could be they're telling Jaden Daniels, hey, just lay low, don't say anything, because it. Here's the thing: uh, if the Commanders want him, then why why do you want to put your top player in on the spotlight, but in the wrong way, right? You're gonna have Jaden Daniels get into this situation as well. So they probably may have told him, hey, just get off the social media. Don't talk to him or whatever. Maybe they're telling him, don't associate yourself with this guy. We don't want to deal with this guy, or they don't want to look bad. So it could be that, but maybe it's a troll. Who knows? Maybe they're all part of this whole troll job together we don't know about. But you see, that's what's very cryptic about all these social media posts as well. The fact that they have been longtime buddies, and you know but it could also be legit. You never know. But back to the point of his state of mind, it just really has not been the same ever since his injury. The rehab, like you said, maybe someone gave him something that is just screwing up with his whole mental state. But first thing to do is if you do have some kind of a condition is I mean at least acknowledge you have it. And he's 27, hasn't spoken anything, so maybe he doesn't want people to know, but he's just airing out his grievances over social media because there's nobody else to air those grievances towards. So he's got to put something out there because why? Nobody is listening to him. And I feel like for somebody who's posting immature things like he is right now, he wants the attention. He wants to be heard. He wants people to know his side of the story, and some of it doesn't even make sense. He talks about how John Lynch visited his house, to kind of try to calm him down. Brandon Aiyuk retaliates and tells him, "Hey, what are you doing here? You're a stalker. You got your coach Kyle, who's acting like a temper tantrum toddler or whatever. He's screaming on top of his lungs." So he's going to give us his own perspective, but obviously 49ers, they try to they're trying to help him salvage the situation, but Brandon is just making it seem worse. Like it seems the more people want to help him, the more he's just rejecting it. And I feel that that makes his case a little bit more serious over the long run. If I think Antonio Brown's was more, yes, he went through that, but I don't think we've heard much from Antonio Brown now.
Well,
Um,
not in the NFL, but he's
though you,
active on
oh
social media. He's always
yeah,
posting. He's got.
yeah,
I'm not gonna repeat the stuff he says on social media because it's very, very offensive.
yeah,
But he's
that's
got the
derogatory. Yeah,
yes,
okay.
the F of the day, the C of the day, the B
Yeah.
of the day, any racial slur, he's throwing it out there. He literally that's what he says every single time. So you know what says say okay because okay is cute and kind of while okay is evil and scary. What in the world is this person talking about?
Let's just
Okay.
move on.
Looks like we got some
Oh boy.
Ayuk people in here, right? But
You
anywho,
know,
I think based on what you just said right now, I think you make a very strong case for Ayuk. I do believe that. See, I didn't know all this stuff, all the stuff that led to it. I had no idea that it's gone this far.
could argue though that Antonio Brown has burned multiple bridges with all these teams. You got Pittsburgh, you had Oakland, you had Tampa Bay. So he's had a bad reputation with every team he's been on. While
And he
while
recorded
Ayuk, now he's
when he
only been on
left.
one.
Yep. He recorded
Ayuk
when he
has only
left the
been on
Raiders.
one
Remember
right
that
now.
too?
Yeah, he
He
slammed his
recorded the
helmet.
conversation with Gruden and then he posted it out there. So there you
Oh
go,
my!
man. I mean,
So
but that was
you can't
before
make
he
this
was with
stuff up.
us. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
yeah, you
mean,
can't make this stuff up.
no, they're definitely not. They have to be some of the worst deep receivers of all time. And I would argue that again, AB's production was a lot better than Ayuk overall. I think AB could have been a Hall of Fame receiver if he continued
Yeah.
to play because he was only 32, I think, when he retired, I believe. So he was still pretty young. Maybe a couple more years left. And again, he was not regressing. His game was never an issue. It was his antics on the field, off the field. And again, he never came back. That was it for him.
Yeah.
So by you, although we can argue that he probably isn't going to come back, you never know. There could be a desperate team
I
out
don't
there that
think
says, you know
so.
what? We can change him. We can change him.
You know, I'm just glad the 49ers, went ahead and got the top receiver of the NFL. I mean, honestly, they knew Brandon Aiyuk was not going to come back. So our uh, our recourse was you got to get Mike Evans. So, and honestly, they got a good core right there. Mike Evans, you got Ricky Pearsall, you got Christian Kirk, Dejon Stribling, who hopefully will get some playing time with Kyle Shanahan, Demarcus Robinson. So you got a good lineup right there of wide receivers. Um, so you know, I don't think we will ever see if this is it for Brandon Ayuk. I don't think we will ever see the ceiling for what could have been for Brandon Ayuk because I mean. How do we know what he'll be if he's not working out? He's hasn't proven to us nor anybody that he hasn't posted himself working out in the gym on a football, putting on pads or anything. It's just him just slacking off in at home or wherever he's at. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
mean, he's not really.
sad situation, man. Yeah.
Yep, it is horrible, but I think we got enough evidence based on our little convo here. So I am gonna end it short. It wasn't gonna be a long conversation. I just just something for fun to talk about. I know Cover Five has not done much in a while, but the Nostro over here is very active. I would say maybe 3 times a week, if I'm correct.
Yeah, we got Lakers content always going on, 49ers. It's a very busy season right now. We're still a piece or two away from completing the Lakers roster. Um, Trying to get Kaminga, though it's kind of looking, you know, kind of the chances of us getting Kaminga are not too good right now, despite the fact that or we have no cap room left. But we still have Brandon Aiyuk, who's giving us stuff to talk about in the offseason. Training camp is literally almost like 2 weeks away for the 49ers, so you're going to see more content coming up. So it's an exciting time right now to be talking both teams.
And the most insulting thing was Mike Evans not a top 10 receiver, according to who?
Oh hell. I have to look at. I think it was Fowler, Jeremy Fowler from ESPN, who lists Mike Evans right out of the top 10. So I'm gonna have a take on that in
Insulting.
my live stream on Sunday.
Oh, he will definitely.
So for anybody who wants to, or anybody who wants to join in on Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific, join in my podcast. I'll discuss that, and you can join the live chat.
Yes. Nostro will be going live, I think, for the first time since he started his channel. He's still fairly new, but again, he is very professional with his takes, pretty funny too sometimes, and a good friend of mine as well. We've known each other for how many years? 3, 4 years, something like that.
I think we're going now on, I think 3 or 4 years. Yeah, just
Yeah,
about.
yeah. No, I think a little more than that because I think you was it right after COVID?
You're. Oh, you know what? You're right. It was after COVID.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
it's almost 5 years.
yeah,
Time
yeah,
flies.
yeah. You left here 3 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah, when you were here. Well,
Ah,
anywho,
fun
Noster,
times.
thank you for dropping by and making your appearance on the Cover Five team. I have a feeling we're gonna talk again during the season. But
Yep. Always,
if you
always good
enjoy
to
the
be here.
content,
On.
subscribe. If
Thank
you
you.
enjoy the content, subscribe to either one of our channels. Those of you who tuned in and commented, thank you very much. I did not expect anyone to come
Subscribe
on
to
here and say
both.
anything.
Subscribe to both
Yes, to
channels.
both. I wasn't sure if people were going to come on, but I guess they tuned in, and most of the stuff was 49ers stuff. I mean, I get it. AP has not been with the Bucks in years, so I didn't expect anybody to even remember that or really even care about it, to be honest. But hopefully it gets situated and you guys get the best. And I don't know what's going to happen to him. If anybody signs that guy, I mean, best of luck to you. Yep.
Thanks.
All right, what's the next one? See you guys.
All right. Appreciate it. Night.